A plea for the public's help this morning. IMPD is searching for a suspect involved in a quadruple homicide on the city's Near East Side. A total of 5 people were shot, one of which is recovering in the hospital at this hour.
Good morning, Zach. That's right. While that 6-month-old girl was found safe and unharmed, police are still searching for a man they consider to be armed and dangerous. This is 25-year-old Malik Halfacre. He's believed to be driving a 2012 black Chevy Impala with Indiana license plate CJA272. Police say Halfacre is responsible for shooting a total of 5 people, one of which was a young child. He then took a 6-month-old child from the scene, as you mentioned, and after that statewide Amber Alert was issued, that child was found safe and unharmed, but Halfacre is still at large. Now, this is all connected to a shooting that happened last night near the intersection of East New York Street and North Randolph Street. Officers initially responded on the report of a single person shot, and that's when they found a woman with gunshot wounds in critical condition. She was transported to a hospital, and upon further investigation, that's when they located 4 other victims inside a home here in the 300 block of North Randolph Street. One of those 4 victims was a young child.
Metro Police say they've now made an arrest in this case.
It was Sunday afternoon when police received a tip that Malik Halfacre was inside this home. After several hours of negotiating, the SWAT team finally found him inside the attic. SWAT team members handcuffed and escorted Malik Halfacre out of the home in the 6200 block of East Ridge Drive. Before SWAT team members made entry, they spent 3 to 4 hours trying to get him out, sending him messages and using tear gas.
SWAT team members taking every precaution there was to keep the community safe, to keep officers safe, knowing that this person was armed and dangerous.
After being taken into custody, Halfacre was sent to the homicide office where detectives are continuing the investigation. This arrest comes less than 24 hours after Saturday's quadruple homicide.
I do believe that the community has played a role. They've been giving us information, and that's what's important. Our community sticks together, and our community has done what we have been urging them to do for a while.
When SWAT team officers found Malik Halfacre hiding inside the attic of a house on the east side Sunday afternoon, the family of his alleged victims tells me it was 24 hours short of the moment he walked into this house and demanded money from Jeanettrius Moore, the mother of his child.
He wanted some of Jeanettrius's tax money and stimulus money. She had just got her money, and he wanted half of her money. She said, "No, you don't deserve any of this. I work, I take care of our child, you don't do anything."
Inside the house were Jeanettrius's mother, Tamika Brown, her brother, Daquan Moore, her cousin, Anthony Johnson, and her daughter, Eve Moore.
Daquan was trying to save his sister. He was taking up for his sister. He stood up and said, she said, "You cannot have the money. You cannot have her money." That's what she said. And pushed Malik. And Malik pulled out the gun and just started killing everybody.
Jeanettrius Moore told her family she was shot but escaped after Halfacre reportedly put their baby in the car and prepared to drive away. The baby was later recovered unharmed. The family said Jeanettrius feared Halfacre and knew he carried a gun.
She was afraid to leave this man because she knew that he would come back and kill her. He had threatened her numerous times, put sugar in her tank, slashed her tires, shot up her car. You know, I mean, she lived in fear with this man.
And in the end, with so much lost, all the survivors have is each other.
It's always about family here. You can't take that for granted.
Russ McQuaid, Fox 59 News.
They also have love and lots of prayers from this community as well. The family says they are now trying to raise enough money to have a funeral service for each of the family members.
And Fox 59 also speaking with family members affected by that violence on Randolph Street. Anthony Johnson's sister tells us Malik Halfacre believed he was owed part of the family's stimulus check. She says her cousin, Daquan Moore, tried to defend the rest of the family.
Daquan was trying to save his sister. He was taking up for his sister.
The family says they all knew Halfacre carried a gun and his child's mother feared he would kill her if she disagreed with him.
And a neighbor was there when the person suspected of killing 4 people was arrested.
Our Steve Jefferson talked to her about why she decided to share that standoff live on her social media page.
Family members of the quadruple murder victims were able to witness the arrest of the suspect here on East Ridge thanks to a woman living in this apartment building.
The kids came and got me and was like, Mom, something's going on outside.
When the SWAT standoff outside got the attention of Jeanettrius Nichols and her family, she eventually grabbed her cell phone.
Then I came downstairs and started recording. Then the officer walked up to us and was like, well, we're guarded up, so it'd be best if y'all stay inside.
That's when Jeanettrius learned the standoff involved the search for Malik Halfacre. The 25-year-old is accused in the quadruple homicide on Randolph Street, where officers found 3 adults and a 7-year-old shot dead. As a mother herself, Jeanettrius had already sympathized with the victim's family, who had started watching her Facebook Live of the standoff.
From the comments, I felt the genuineness when they were asking me to keep living, keep going, you know. So I set my phone down and let it sit there while I was in the house.
Jeanettrius prays the gun violence stops in our city, especially so her own children are safe.
And the last 2 years have been the worst 2 years. I won't let my kids go nowhere out my sight. We sit in this house. If they go somewhere, I'm going. And I have teenagers.
Eventually, during her Facebook Live, the standoff ended with Halfacre arrested by police on 4 preliminary counts of murder.
There you go, y'all. They brought him out. He was there. He's out, y'all. There he is. They brought him out. He is out. There you go. They got him. First thing was thank you, Jesus, because I seen all the comments from the family members.
A suspect is now in custody more than 24 hours after a quadruple homicide on the city's east side. That also led to an Amber Alert. Thanks so much for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. A child was among the 4 people killed, and another child just 6 months old was missing for more than 8 hours. The search for a suspect ended in a police standoff.
IMPD says a tip brought the SWAT team to this home Sunday afternoon around 2 p.m.
The same detectives that worked last night, they're still here, they're still waiting, and they're waiting for him downtown.
4 hours, neighbors stood outside and waited. Tear gas, loud bangs, and messages over a loudspeaker to come out safely and peacefully echoed.
The affidavit filed in the case shows that after being arrested, the suspect confessed to killing 4 people inside this home here on Randolph. Some feel those deaths could have been avoided if the suspect had been more severely punished for previous acts of violence.
Police believe an argument over stimulus money led to 4 people being shot to death on Saturday. The accused killer, Malik Halfacre, allegedly admitted after the shooting he took the money, then dropped his 6-month-old daughter off at his sister's home before driving to a friend's house where he was eventually arrested. That shooting claimed the lives of Tamika Brown, Anthony Johnson, Jeanettrius Moore, as well as 7-year-old Eve Moore. The mother of Malik's child survived.
She lived in fear with this man. She suffered through this before the shooting.
The victim's family explains that Malik had a history of violence long before the murders. In 2017 on this street, prosecutors claim Malik shot another man multiple times. That victim survived, and court records show Malik was charged with aggravated battery, but a plea agreement allowed him to plead guilty to a lesser charge of pointing a firearm, which resulted in a jail sentence of just a few months. Prosecutors would only say the lack of witness cooperation complicated that case, yet according to police reports just last May, Malik was also suspected of shooting the car of his child's mother, but he was never charged with that crime.
She was afraid to leave him because she didn't have faith in the system.
The victims of these crimes, the witnesses to these crimes, they are not going to talk to the police. They're not going to cooperate with the investigations when they know for a fact that violent offender is coming right back out. The system is broken. It's extremely broken in Marion County.
Tonight, the suspect remains behind bars in the Marion County Jail, where he's being held without bond pending the filing of formal charges.
Thanks for inviting us in. We learned today that a stimulus check may have been the motive behind last weekend's shooting that left 4 people dead, including a 7-year-old girl.
Tonight, Steve Jefferson is learning what the alleged shooter told police, and we're also hearing tonight from the man who rescued that sole shooting survivor.
The lone survivor of the shooting here at the house took off running and ran southbound here on Randolph, where she got the help she needed.
And I talked to her, and she was shot. I said, "Oh my God, you've been shot."
Craig Jackson showed us how he came to the aid of shooting victim Jeanettrius Moore, the only survivor from gunfire that claimed 4 of her loved ones. Moore escaped to Jackson's front porch, where they waited for police together.
What you doing? You squat down, and I'm gonna squat down with you, and I'm gonna talk to you while I'm on the phone with the police. Tell them I need some assistance.
In court documents, Malik Halfacre reportedly admitted he and Moore argued because he wanted some of her stimulus check, and admitted to shooting all of the deceased individuals in the house, taking money and her car. Halfacre also told police, according to court documents, after the shooting, he dropped off his daughter and walked to his friend's house. That's where SWAT officers convinced him to surrender after an intense standoff. Now, Jackson hopes to reunite with Moore just to give her more support.
I would love to meet her, to talk to her, to give her my condolences, because she said she wants to do a GoFundMe, and I'm more than willing to help her with the GoFundMe to assist at the funeral for her loved ones. Malik Halfacre is scheduled for his initial hearing on March 18th for the shooting that happened here on Randolph Street.
Thank you, Steve. This is the second mass shooting here in Indianapolis within just the last 2 months. Both of them are considered domestic violence.
You remember back in late January, 6 family members were killed and a 15-year-old boy injured in that shooting on the northeast side of Indy. 17-year-old Raymond Childs is accused of killing his own parents, sister, brother, brother's girlfriend, and an unborn nephew.
And the little brother who survived later told investigators that Childs started shooting because he was upset with his parents. His trial is now set for this April.
On the Near East Side, another domestic dispute left 4 people dead inside a home on Randolph.
It is evident from this weekend's tragedy that domestic violence affects both adults and children.
On Sunday, police also arrested Malik Halfacre for the quadruple homicide that claimed the lives of Tamika Brown, Anthony Johnson, Daquan Moore, as well as 7-year-old Eve Moore. Another woman was wounded in the shooting.
We cannot afford to become a community that's afraid to ask or seek help when we need it. Domestic violence is real.
I think many times there's stigmas in our communities around mental health, around domestic violence.
Reverend Green with the Concerned Clergy agrees with the chief that encouraging people to seek out resources for help is key to reducing the domestic violence problem.
We also spoke to Indy Mayor Joe Hogsett about this violence, and he says there is a pattern repeating itself.
You know, it's the confluence, frankly, and we've seen it a couple of times over the last couple of months, the confluence of domestic dispute and domestic violence, along with conflict resolution or lack thereof, and guns.
The mayor went on to say IMPD will redouble its efforts to keep the city safe, but did not offer other specifics.
Police union leaders say city leaders are to blame for the violence. In a statement, FOP President Rick Snyder says, quote, Indy is a city in crisis. He accuses leaders of, quote, putting politics over people. Snyder says he wants to see a concrete solution to the violence. One piece of good news in terms of crime, IMPD says they have been getting more help from the community to solve homicides, which has led to a higher clearance rate.
I think we're hopefully turning a corner in that the community realizes that this cannot continue, that it hurts the whole community.
This weekend's homicides are still under investigation. If you can help police close any of these cases, please call IMPD or Crime Stoppers 317-262-TIPS.